Right. Okay, there we go. We should be right now. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, another weekly live stream from Chicago Bulls Central. At that, this time we're going to be discussing preparing for the NBA draft, what's going on with trade markets, a lot of things like that. You guys already know. We like to kick it here once a week live on Chicago Bulls Central. Just during the offseason, we don't have games, right? I may be going live today after the NBA Finals if they get sealed tonight. We'll see what goes on with that. Either way, I will probably be going live once the finals are over with. But today's episode, we'll be talking about the draft, talking about some of the trades that went down in the NBA. When do the Bulls, if they are getting involved in any of these trades, we'll talk about that all and more on today's live episode of Chicago Bulls Central.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right. And there it goes. What's going on? First of all, we got Jonathan Washington Jr. in the building. He says, yo, what's going on? He also says this is his first time he actually got a notification about the live. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube and the notifications. YouTube and their notification algorithm sucks. Now, I will say the algorithm has been good to me as far as my pre-recorded videos. When it comes to live streams, hasn't quite been as good. So, that's just one of those things. Unfortunately, you got to deal with the beast in YouTube when it comes to stuff like that. Just kind of is what it is, I guess. But nonetheless, we are here today. I'm glad whoever's in here is in here. We got Spider-Man himself. Mike's in the building. What's going on, brother? Also got Marquise Williams. He says this next game is going to be crazy. What? Oh, we're talking about with the finals. The Bulls don't have a game. I lost complete train of thought. Game 6 is going to be wild. I will say this is that I don't want to say if Boston wins this, they necessarily go into Golden State with momentum. I don't want to say it like that, but like just the way that Boston in the games that Boston has won, just the way that they have won it, right? Golden State can't play with their food this time. They can't because Golden State typically likes to win clinch series at home. Just look at their history and then when they've dropped like weird game 4s when they were clinching games, but they gotta eliminate Boston tonight. If they don't want to risk going, they have proven. Boston has proven that they can win in Golden State. You don't want to risk that with a game 7. So we'll see. This has been a really good finals. It's probably one of the more entertaining finals, I think, in recent memory. Because even last year's finals was okay, but it really wasn't as much as I think some of us had hoped it would be. The finals before that, we all know those weren't. Those were pitiful. Then even the ones before that. So hasn't been the best stretch of finals, but this one has been really, really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed this finals. Cap's in the building. Cap Live says finals has been entertaining but weird. I'm waiting to see what we do in free agency, and that's what we're here to discuss today. Free agency season, I always say that once the first trade happens, like the big time trade, name that people are waiting on, that's the true start of free agency. It kind of sets the market. It sets how aggressive certain teams are going to be. You heard shortly thereafter, like Atlanta going hard after Rudy Gobert. Once that happens, I think that's going to be like the first truly big domino to fall. And then we'll see what happens with other free agents. See what happened with Bradley Beal. Zach LaVine's still out there, but don't be surprised if we see a lot of names moved in this draft as people are trying to position themselves to know what they need to go after in free agency. For example, had the Dallas Mavericks not secured this deal when they did, it may have changed kind of how aggressive they are with certain free agents or what they do in free agency. Now with that happening, but like they're probably going to their free agency as far as Dallas is right now is probably going to be re-signing Brunson, using the mid-level exception, and then that's probably going to be it. Like that's probably going to be it. But we'll see. Marquise Williams says Curry deserves it, especially the Finals MVP if they win. Oh yeah, if Golden State wins this series, he's the Finals MVP, averaging over 30 points per game in this series. Like he absolutely deserves to win the MVP in that case. But some of the things that we want to talk about. What's going on? Julie is in the building. Says hey Haize and chat. Zach posted. Listen, let's not read too much. Like and shout out to Matt Peck and Big Dave. Like sometimes we try to read too much into things, and it's really just not much to read into it. Like it's really not much. The draft's coming up. It's really not much to read into it. Like it's nothing. Believe me, I highly doubt Zach LaVine is going to give the leaks to what he plans to do on Twitter this far in advance. Like free agency is what, a week after the draft we'll really get to opening free agency. But listen, you're not going to get very many secrets to that. It's going to be the deal. He's going to probably get his money, and then he's like he'll post then. So let's not read too much into it. People will go, you drive yourself crazy worried about that type of stuff. But yeah, so but you know, with trades falling, two Bulls targets that Bulls fans have been talking about for quite a while. Christian Wood going. It seems like all but probably a lock that Rudy Gobert is going to Atlanta. I just don't see really any other team possibly matching that offer. We also got like James Harden's reported that the Sixers are going to sign him to a more short-term deal. They don't want to go long-term with him, which I wouldn't even want to go short-term with James Harden at this point. Just look at his plus minus. Look at the Sixers plus minuses with Harden on the court versus off the court. But with that being said, you know, they can't lose him for nothing, even if he's a trade piece. That's probably why they want to do a short-term deal, because if they do have to trade it, then whoever they trade it to, it's a short-term contract rather than long-term money. But you know, we're here to talk about the Bulls. So who are some targets? Christian Wood, Rudy Gobert. Let's assume they're off the target. I know people are already going to bring up Miles Turner. Who else are people going to bring up? I don't know. I know Miles Turner is definitely going to be in there, even though I would like to see Miles Turner if he's added to the team. If you're talking about replacing Vooch with Miles Turner, I'm telling you guys the negatives that you're going to get from Miles Turner as far as passing, and he's not. Go and look and see. People think that I'm tripping when I say this. Go and look at the advanced analytics. Miles Turner is not that much of a better defender than Nikola Vucevic. It's really not. Like, I mean, he's better, right? Don't get me wrong, but the numbers just don't support him being. He gets some of the better things like blocks and steals, which we do need rim protection. But as far as like actual defense, keeping people from scoring on you, Miles Turner isn't that much better. So yeah, that's just what I think on that. We'll see. Stephen Gordon says, what up, Haize? What's going on? Juliet says she hopes Boston wins. Oh, Boston wins. Can't stand Golden State. Hey, listen, I like Golden State. This is where AK pulls something out the bag that no one's expecting from C-Red UK. That I absolutely agree with. Me and Pat, the designer, we're actually talking about that today, is that I fully like, because the Christian Wood deal does look like on paper something that the Bulls could have possibly matched, right? With it, because it was really just a bunch of expiring contracts and the 26th overall pick. The Bulls could have possibly matched that. Either they have something better in mind and in place than what Christian Wood is, which could possibly. The thing is, like I said, like the impact of what we need, the Bulls could absolutely, with like drafting an EJ Liddell, if they keep the pick, signing a Mitchell Robinson with the full mid-level exception, could easily net something better than what a Christian Wood can alone, especially depending on what pieces you have to give up. But we'll see. At the end of the day, we know AK and Eversley's. Oh, just look at the draft prospects that they've worked out. They're all been like bottom of the first round, even lower than our pick, or second round picks, or some players that are even projected not to be drafted at all. So if you look at that to try to give an in on what AK and Eversley are planning, they're probably planning to get rid of that pick and Kobe White and bring something in that we are not expecting at all. Antonio Young, so you must be new here. Need is a big word. We don't need Ayton or Boogie, and Boogie does shit for us. Like, Boogie does not do shit of what we need. Rebounding, rim protection. He is a pretty good passer, right? Like, and shot blocking. Boogie doesn't bring that. We don't need no more scoring from Boogie. We don't need that. Like, this whole we need Boogie, that we don't need Boogie. Ayton, here's the thing. Honestly, with Ayton, you get younger. You get a better defensive player. You get some offense from him as well. He's not necessarily the passer Vooch is. I do like the idea of Ayton, but here's the thing. I don't think Ayton is realistic for the Chicago Bulls. Now, again, AK may pull something out of his sleeve that we're not expecting, but when you look at a young player like Ayton, he's a restricted free agent. So there could be a team that throws a lot of money at him and they're forced to do a sign and trade. But outside of that, let's say the Suns do re-sign him and then trade him. He can't be traded to almost to the trade deadline at that point, which is fine. But even then, you're looking at a player that, and people, I hate when people think that because somebody had a bad season or whatever, that all of a sudden the team's going to sell low on them. You can easily get multiple first-round picks for DeAndre Ayton. The Suns can. And with that being said, considering Chris Paul is older in age, and if they want to do a quick rebuild, they may want those future assets. They may want the most draft picks that they can get possible. The Bulls can't match any team that can offer multiple first-round picks. The Bulls are already out of that deal. You think Vooch, Kobe White at 18th pick, and even if you throw in Portland's pick, which is a low first round pick, you think that's going to match up with the team that can give a lottery pick this year that's probably still not going to be good, even if they give picks next year that's going to be higher than even that Portland pick, and probably a young player too? I just don't think, looking at what the market is that the Bulls are going to be able to offer an aggressive, match an aggressive offer for Ayton. I know that he would be, don't get me wrong, I would love Ayton to be here. But I just don't think, looking at it realistically, that the Bulls have enough to offer. They're not trading Patrick Williams. That right there takes their biggest trade chip off the table. Patrick Williams is the Chicago Bulls' biggest trade chip. So you take that off the table. They're not trading Patrick Williams. So what do you think that even if you throw in Alex Caruso, that's not going to be enough? They're not going to have enough. And Zayman, you're a fucking idiot if you can't comprehend the shit that comes out of anybody's mouth. Nobody said anything over Rudy Gobert. And so if you're going to, this is the problem with people who want to come in live chats. If you want to say, have something to say. Don't just say shit and want to say you're dumb. You're a fucking idiot for even leaving that comment. There could have been an easier way to say, hey, I think the Bulls should still try to go hard after Rudy Gobert. Stop. Don't be a fucking idiot. If you're going to come in here and offer something, don't be a fucking idiot. That's all I can say to you. And if you're new here, this is Chicago Bulls Central. I do go the fuck off on people who say dumbass shit like that. So let's keep it moving. Cap2K says, Capo2K says, I hope the Bulls draft EJ Liddell. You guys, I want them to draft Mark Williams, but realistically, Mark Williams is probably going to, unless they move up, is going to be outside of what they can draft. I do think that EJ Liddell is going to be the pick. Absolutely. Julia Jewell says, hit that like button. Y'all weigh in. Yes, hit the like button. What's good, Haize? What's going on, young Stingray 03? It's been a minute since I've seen you, brother. What's good, Haize? What do you think about Eric Gordon? He's still under contract, right? And that contract is pretty steep. I don't think, now if he's a free agent, I would love Eric Gordon. I think Eric Gordon as a bench scorer brings everything that you need, but it just depends on what his contract. Let me look it up real quick. Let's get intelligent on this one. Eric Gordon contract. Let's see what it is. Okay, so he's not an unrestricted free agent till, you're $18 million for Eric Gordon. Not that he's not necessarily worth it. I think especially on a good team, but the Bulls can't match. They can't trade for that. The Bulls can't trade for that. They can't. Like they can't trade for it. I like Walker Kessler for draft pick. Give us what we're looking for. Walker Kessler is a good one. Defensive player of the year in college. 4 shot blocks per game, which everything doesn't translate one for one in the NBA when you get to the NBA level. But you got to think, if you can average 4 blocks per game, even if you cut that in half, 2 blocks per game, you damn near lead the NBA in that case. So yeah. Marlon, wait, first, we got Zach Lasagna's real name. He says, hey, Zach Lasagna here. I'm on my cell phone today. That's why I'm on this account. What's going on, Zach Lasagna? I appreciate you, brother. What do you think about the Bulls drafting Jalen Duren? He's going to be outside the Bulls range. Now, I said even in my prospect profile for Jalen Duren, I did say that there is a possibility that he does fall to the Bulls. There are some mock drafts that does have him dropping down to us. I would love him. I would love Jalen Duren. As much as Mark Williams is, I've said Mark Williams would almost be perfect for us. Almost the same things that you can say about Mark Williams, you can say about Jalen Duren, even more so, right? I think Jalen Duren even has more of an offensive upside than Mark Williams. So yeah, I would love him on this team. Chi-Town have you. All black people do not look alike. All light-skinned black people don't look alike. So no, we don't look nothing alike, bro. Nothing. You could have went. There's 1,000 different places you can went with that. You could have went young Lawrence Fishburne. You could have went Jadena. You could have went a lot of different places. Eric Gordon is not that, bro. Every light-skinned black man don't look alike, bro. Come on, man. You got to do better. I'm all for being flamed, but you got to do it a little better than that. Is there a chance that we can get stuck with our current bench? Because there's no way we get stuck with our current bench, because most of our current benches are coming back. We're going to have a different bench. Now, how different that is matters, but there's not a chance that we have the exact same bench running back. There's just not a chance of that. Here we go. Jamoy Fowler says Bulls need to figure out a way to acquire Chris Boucher, and call it an offseason. No, that doesn't bring enough. That's not calling it offseason. He doesn't bring everything we need. Now he can be a very good bench piece, but he doesn't solve all of our problems at all. I don't think so. Smear 60, my little brother's in the building. What's going on, Smear? Keep in mind, Smear 60, you said you're planning to package Vooch and Kobe for Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's a free agent. You don't have to package anything for Mitchell Robinson. Even if, and keep in mind, the Bulls, if he agrees to the contract with the Bulls can offer him the full mid-level exception at $10.1 million. You don't need to trade anything. Even if the Knicks want to try to ask for a sign and trade, at that point, the Bulls decide what they give up. So because you can sign him outright, you don't need to do that. Antonio Young, Boogie brings the toughness. No, it's not just like, yes, we need some toughness, but you need more than that. You need them to fit in basketball wise. If you just needed blind toughness, hell, you can go sign Ron Artest. He's still probably the toughest motherfucker on the planet. They still need to fit in basketball wise. Boogie does not fit in basketball wise to what the Chicago Bulls are trying to do. So yeah, he's tough, right? If he can stay healthy, but that's not enough. Now, again, I'm not saying Boogie as a wholly no, but I'm saying that Boogie's the type of person that you bring in after you figure out everything else you need on the bench. You need shot blocking, rim protection, and rebounding off the bench first. Boogie doesn't bring most of those things. So you need to figure that out first. Then you need to figure out some scoring off the bench, whether that's a solid 3-and-D player, whether that's a straight up scorer off the bench, whether it's a shooter off the bench. You need to figure that out next. Then you worry about a player like Boogie Cousins. So no, Boogie would be way down the line on that. First of all, is your name Octopool? Octopool Possum? That's a hell of a username, brother. Thank you for joining in today. He says, "Hey, Haize, how you doing, bro? I'm good, brother. I'm good." Besides dumbasses in the chat, what was the dumbass's name? I don't even remember. He's gone now. I don't know if Zaymac the lock. Yeah, he was an idiot because of his username. You knew he was a dumb fuck. But I'm good other than that. How can we afford Mitchell Robinson with Vooch and Kobe still here? How can we afford him? We have the mid-level exceptions, Smear 60. We have a mid-level exception that you can do even if you're over the cap. Mid-level exception is just that it's an exception. That's $10.1 million that the Bulls have to sign a free agent outright. That's if they don't make any other move. They can offer a free agent a contract of up to $10.1 million. Considering Mitchell Robinson was on a $1.6 million contract, that is a over 100% raise for him. So that's how they can do that. And that's just in the first year. So then it still increases after that time. So you can work in increases and bonuses, right? So while the first year would have to be locked in at $10.1 million, if you sign him to a 2 or 3-year contract, by the end of that, he's making about $13-14 million. So that's how they can do that. They can definitely still sign Mitchell Robinson without needing to trade anybody. And that's why they have so much. That's why I've always said that the Bulls have more flexibility than what people are thinking, because they do have trade chips in Kobe White, the 18th pick, if they decide to move it. That can be moved for a completely separate trade. They can move the 18th pick in Kobe White to either move up in the draft, get a better player, and move down in the draft. And then they still have $10.1 million after that to go after another player. And then they still have a $5 million trade exception after that. So the Bulls have a lot of flexibility. Smear 6 again, dude, the offseason is almost upon us. Can't wait. Well, hell, we've been in the offseason for us. But the good thing is that, yes, we have the draft. Free agency starts about a week after that, week and a half after that. And then, first about 2.5 weeks of free agency, or first week of free agency is really where most of the big moves are made. And then you have smaller ones over that. Then we have Summer League. I'm going to be covering Summer League very heavily. We're getting in there, man. We're definitely getting in there. Chi-Town Javier says, how do you feel about us getting Seth Curry? We don't need any more point guards. Like if Lonzo's going to be healthy, I don't think we need that, because we have Alex Caruso, we have Ayo Dosunmu. We need more length at that point at our guard position. Now we do have Javonte, who may play some 2-3, but I think that they go with a taller player who can be more versatile, because we don't need any players that can play the 1 and the 2. If anything, we need players that can play the 2 and the 3, and then another player who can play the 3 and the 4, and then a true big man. So I would love Seth Curry if we didn't have like Ayo and Alex Caruso and stuff like that. I love Seth Curry as a player. I just don't know if where we are right now is that what we need. So Tim Brazil is in the building. He says, I missed the noti. Hey, you're here now, bro. That's all that matters. To be honest, the shooting isn't that bad. We're missing Lonzo, who is by far our best shooter. Anyways, we need to put Ayo, Green, and Caruso in the lab. They need to work on their shooting. Well, Ayo's a better shooter than what he showed. I think it was confidence with Ayo when it came to the shooting, because he was a better shooter than that in college. So if he can get back to that, then we're absolutely fine. But we still do need more shooting. Now, keep in mind, the Bulls bench, even when we were fully healthy, well, the closest version of fully healthy that we had, we were damn near dead last in the NBA in scoring. So we still need more shooting coming off that bench for sure. Let's see what else we got. I'm gonna try to catch up. So if I skip some people, I apologize, man. We don't need more guards. Yeah, I mean, to a degree, we do need more wings that can play the 2 and the 3. We don't need more point guards, but we do need a more solid wing who can play that 3 and D role. So we do need that, but that again, that's more so in the you need to address the size, the shot blocking, rebounding thing, I think, first, in my opinion. So Pat said Kobe for Cam Reddish makes sense. I agree. If they do that deal straight up, you take that every time. You take that every time. I think so. I agree with that. If they do that straight up, you take that every time. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm convinced Iowa's going to have a way better sophomore year on also. Oh, for sure. Alex Larez with a great point in the building. Like, he's definitely going to come in. I think, like, just look at how he learned game to game, right? He did hit a rookie wall. I think he's going to work on that conditioning. That conditioning is going to take him, and the confidence to take more shots is definitely going to help as well. So we'll see. I think we're going to have a heck of a player in the second year in Io DeSumo. So let's see what else. A Robert Covington-like guy would be nice. That's EJ Liddell. That is EJ Liddell. Absolutely. EJ Liddell is that type of player. Now, again, I don't want to hang all of our hopes and dreams on EJ Liddell. The Bulls could go high upside with Nikola Jovic, who could very well end up being the best player in this draft. Now, how Bull fans will respond to a player that's probably going to spend maybe his first year in the G League like Marko Simonovic did last season, I don't know. But if they're talking about the long-term health and the best player available, it might be Nikola Jovic, who is slated to go around that Bulls pick. But I would love an EJ Liddell on the team. I think EJ Liddell brings a lot of that Robert Covington type energy as well. I know you're not interested in trade talks, but what do you think about Justin Holiday in the second round? That's not enough. To me, it's not enough. Justin Holiday is good. Don't get me wrong. Justin Holiday is good. He brings a lot of what we need, especially out on that wing. But I think the Bulls can get better. If you're just talking about just getting Justin Holiday back, a 33-year-old player for an 18 overall pick and a 22-year-old player, no, that's a fail. That's a fail. That's a fail. Now, if they also are giving us a future first round pick or maybe a later first round pick, okay, then we can talk a little bit. But Justin Holiday, being with the age that he is now, he's solid on both sides of the ball. Don't get me wrong. He's been solid when he was here before. But I don't know when you're giving up an 18th overall pick in this year's draft and a 22-year-old player who half of the season averaged 16 points per game on high efficient shooting. Yes, he fell off the fucking cliff. That's too much for a 33-year-old player. Sean, you're wrong. Every mock draft has EJ Liddell going in the late first round or early second round. So no, Liddell is not going to be long gone. Liddell is going to be there right around the Bulls pick. There's several bigs that are going before him. So EJ Liddell, even though he's a hell of a player, he's not going to be gone by the Bulls pick. That's not going to happen. And if he is, let me say if a team takes EJ Liddell higher than the Bulls 18th pick, that all that does is solidify that one of the other big men are going to fall, and then we still get the best from that. So, but I know EJ Liddell, believe me, I have covered 28 now draft prospects over the course of this summer highly and studied every mock draft. Go and listen to Rafael Barlow on Locked On NBA Draft. He's a scientist when it comes to this draft shit. EJ Liddell is not going in the lottery. He's not going long gone before the Chicago Bulls pick. It's not happening. Yeah, Covington did sign. We were talking about a Covington-like player, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Jamore. Covington did sign a new deal, so he's off the table. I need y'all to pay attention. I really do need y'all to pay attention if you're going to come in here offering trade. That's not how a sign and trade works, Victor. Victor, you've been watching me all summer. I've explained this. I've commented directly to you. That is not how a sign and trade works. That's not how it works. And keep in mind, you can't sign and trade Zach during the draft. That can't happen. It can't happen anyway. And then once draft players are drafted, after they're on their teams, if it's not a draft day deal, you can't trade first round picks until much later into the season. So no, that's not how any of this works. Victor, come on, man. I've been trying to help you, brother. Come on. That's not how this works, fam. That's not how that works, man. Zach Lasagna says the draft will be in June. Caruso wears number 6, 23. MJ wears number 23. I'm convinced we will draft the next GOAT in this. That's hilarious, brother. That is funny. That is fucking hilarious. Gotta say, I enjoyed your draft prospect coverage. Thank you, 37 Cycles. I put a lot of work into that draft. My list is somewhere around here. Hold on. I don't know. Where did I put it? Which notebook is it? I have two. Listen, this is my draft. My handwriting sucks, so don't make fun of me. This is my, look, these are all names. These are all names. Listen, I did more work on this draft than Garpax did in the last 8 drafts that they were the GM and basketball president of basketball operations on. Period. Like I've done some research on players I didn't even decide to do videos on because everything has them not being drafted. And it may bite me in my ass. Watch the Bulls get one of the people that I did heavy research on that's not slated to be drafted. That's just the way it's gonna go, man. Shay says, no homo, man, but I love your content. You're the why would there be homo and loving my content, man? Come on, we gotta stop. We gotta drop the toxic masculinity shit, man. There's nothing homo about telling somebody you love their content, man or woman, right? It's not like you're saying, hey, man, I love your beard. Your beard looks soft, bruh. That's some shit you say no homo to. Not loving the content, but no, Shay. You know your fam around here. I appreciate you loving the content, brother. Really do appreciate that. Musa Diabate. Listen, the name that Stacey King would have, and I got so starstruck by the Stacey King interview. I literally wanted to ask him what nickname would you come up for Musa Diabate? But then we started talking. And he said how like he's trying to get away from the nickname thing. So I didn't feel it would be respectful to ask that. Let's see. Reginald Short. Should the Bulls look at Harper Jr. and Pippen Jr.? No. What? Come on, man. Hell no. I'm not I don't give a damn about no legacy, none of that bullshit. They never brought in Michael Jordan Jr. in this bullshit. No, keep those. If they're not going to actually contribute to this team, we don't need to bring in any more fluff pieces. I'd almost rather them bring in, y'all know how much I hate Kofi Coburn as a prospect. I'd much rather them sign Kofi Coburn because he's not going to be drafted. Rather than sign him, at least he'll be an attraction at the fucking G League. No, come on, man. Tim Brazil says toxic masculinity is trash, fellas. Free yourself. Listen, me and my best friend tell each other we love each other every time we get off the phone. We've been best friends for 21 years. Every time we get off, we don't talk much. Every time we get off the phone, I say I love you, bro. Because listen, me and him have both almost died several times in our friendship. So yeah, you gotta listen, don't let toxic masculinity stop you from telling the people you love that you love them. That's all I can say about that. Haize kind of looked like a priest today. Hold on, let me show the tattoos, man. Hold on. Y'all not finna be clowning my ass because I got my shirt buttoned up trying to look like a respectful young man. Now, how about that? What priest got a chest tattoo? How about that? Let's see. Reginald Short says, if the Bulls resign Thad Young, would EJ be able to get minutes? Yes, because Thad Young, they're ball players. And especially in this, Thad Young will probably play some center on this team. Let's be clear with that, with the way Billy Donovan runs. But with that being said, yeah, EJ Liddell will still be able to get minutes. He'll still be able to get minutes. And I honestly think having DeMar to possibly take EJ Liddell on his wing and a Thad Young to go back to that and Patrick Williams, listen, they're going to be pretty good. They're going to be pretty good. This is a good question. 37 Cycles says, so how did you decide on your video background lighting? It reminds me of the lighting themes in Star Wars movies. Yeah, they look like lightsabers. So if you watched from the beginning of this channel, the lighting has changed so much. So it used to just be regular lighting, me sitting here with this gray background. And that was the King Haize sign was the only light in the background. And then I added these 2 panel lights that shine this way. So it gave off a red and a blue tint to the wall behind me, but you couldn't see the actual lights. And then when I upgraded the lighting here, upgraded the front lighting. And then so I wanted a little bit something different in the background. So I went with the lightsabers in the background. Really, it's just to frame it, right? Because so for those that don't know, I own a photography company and I do short films. So with lighting, you always want to with a static subject, a subject that's not moving, you always want to do something interesting on the sides that brings the eyes in. So even though those two lights are back there, and I'm sure some people with ADHD get thrown off by those, but it brings the focus back on me because I'm so well lit in the front. It kind of just draws your eyes naturally back to the middle of the screen. That's all that is. Let's see what else we got. Have you already covered Patrick Baldwin Jr. as a draft prospect? Yeah, absolutely. I did. I can't remember what video I did it on because I was doubling up on draft prospects. But if you read the descriptions, or I think it's pictures on it as well. But yeah, I typically put the prospect in there, the picture on any. So if you look at the thumbnails, it'll be in there. But yeah, I definitely covered him. Definitely covered him. Haize, have you seen some tape on guard forward Bull Cole from the NBL potential Bulls target to me? I have not. I haven't watched very many. The matter of fact, I think the only NBL targets that I did cover were Kai Soto and Osman Jang. I think those are the only two that I covered from the NBL. I think so. Who crowned me king? You don't have to be crowned king when you're born king. You don't have to be. I don't have to be crowned king. I was born king, right? I was born king. This is King Haize. I was born king. Plus, your mama like me. That's I guarantee you. Let's see. You keeping Levine or trade what? What? No, we're keeping. Come on, man. Come on, fam. Bro, you just gave a dissertation about lighting. Gotta have my notebook ready for the free game. Because and look, I don't say this to brag. Like, I literally am a photographer. Like, that is what I do. One of these days, I'll share some of my photography with you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you see it. And also Legacy Visions is the name of my photography company. So it's out there. But yeah, I just brought in the techniques from photography and short filmmaking. Check out my short film, The Creative, and also The Bet and Beast of a Nation. No. A Nation of Betrayal is a short film that I worked on. I wasn't the director on it. I was just the cinematographer, so that's why I didn't quite remember. They changed the name a couple of times, but Betrayal of a Nation, check that out as well. I'm a cinematographer on that, so I do this, and so it's that's why like I came into it. I remember when I first started this, and again, this is not to brag, this is just to have a conversation. People were like, how's your video quality and your audio so good this right away? I've been podcasting for years. I've had a podcast for, it'll be 5 years in October. August. My podcast on Black culture, music, social activism, and black male mental health. It's called The Awakened Soul. I've been doing that for years. I actually had a 3-city live show tour for that one. So I've been doing podcasting for a while. So bringing it, I never really did YouTube at a high level before. So I kind of brought what I learned from podcasting and what I learned from being a photographer all together. So it's called 3-point lighting. So anybody who wants to get into this YouTube game, is called 3-point lighting. You have, hold on, I can show you guys, right? So you have what's called your key light. Your key light is basically what lights you mainly. So I'm going to turn off my key light. That's my key light. So you see, all my lighting basically comes from that one light. I'm going to turn it back on. So all my lighting comes from that one light. And then I have a bounce on this side. So that bounces the light back to kind of light me up a little bit more here. And then I have another light here and then another light here. So it's 3-point lighting. It's like a triangle. And then these are called hair lights because they make you pop. You see how this background, hold on. That's how close the background is. But because of the way I have the lighting, it looks like there's way more depth between me and the background. And that's just a lighting technique. That's strictly just a lighting technique. So you can make a space look bigger with the correct lighting. So there you go. Jamoy asks, Haize, what's your perfect scenario for the Bulls this offseason? I don't have like players in mind, right? So I don't do that, but I want to see them improve this bench drastically. I want to see a better scorer in than Kobe White, in my opinion. You guys know I was beating that drum on Kobe White shouldn't have been traded last year because I wanted to give him a chance, and he looked good for half of those months. But I really do think we need to bring in a more consistent scorer than Kobe. And then I think also we need to address the wing. And I want to see us draft a nice young, either a prospect that can help us right now or somebody with future. And I also want to know what the hell's going on with Marko Simonovic. So I don't have necessarily players in mind. As I start doing my free agent coverage, I'm sure that'll start coming naturally because I've really been focused on the draft. But yeah. I'm sorry, but I don't want any more European prospects on this team. Nothing against Euros, but Jesus, I don't want to take the risk. Especially what does it have to do? Every draft, like, come on, Shay, I love you, but that does not sound right, brother. It doesn't matter where they're from, as long as that they can play. So it's not about Euros aren't a position. Like, it'd be different if you're saying I don't want no more guards on this team. I don't want more bigs on this team. But saying you don't want no more Euros, bro, that doesn't, I'm telling you right now, I know you didn't mean it that way, but I need you to think about how you said it, considering that we have a huge European audience with the Chicago Bulls being a huge worldwide team, bro. That's not cool. That's not cool. What microphone do you have? It sounds expensive and amazing. This is the RE320. Then on that side of the studio, which I do most, if you guys watch during the season, most of my game after game shows were over on the other side of the studio, and I do Locked On Bulls from the other side of the studio. It's the RE20 over there, which is more expensive. So this is about I think this one runs for about 250, 275. That one runs for about 320. But I also know how to tweak my audio to make it sound excellent. So like I do live EQing. So if you had a choice, would you rather direct feature films or have your own nationally televised sports show? Honestly, because I wouldn't have to direct it, I would rather have my own nationally televised sports show. I love telling stories. I love telling stories with the microphone. I mean, with the camera. I love telling stories with the camera. If any of you guys follow my personal Twitter, you'll see that like I have this project that I'm working on. I still need to finish it. Is that of just what Black culture means to the world and how we've informed so much of the world's music, the world's art, not just in America, in the world. But like I love telling stories visually. But the way that I tell them is so I get so detailed with it that it drains me a little bit. Whereas I can talk sports all day long. Put the camera on me. I can talk sports all day long. By the way, check out Chicago Bears Central, my other channel, which is popping off. We just passed 1,300 subs over there. 1,300 in 2 months. The season hasn't even started. We're still like 2 months away from preseason starting. Go and check out Chicago Bears Central. Me and the Cognac boys hold that one down over there. But yeah, sorry, shameless plug. Shameless plug. All right, let's move on. Tim Brazil says, to Shay's point, I like adding more European prospects. Kobe said foreign players will run the league in the future because they focus on fundamentals. He hated AAU programs. Yes. And that's why so many, even if they don't come in right away and be able to contribute, they end up doing it, right? Like we saw, for example, we talked about on Locked On Bulls, Marco Bellinelli, how he was just a great player. We try to use him as just a shooter. But yeah, European players, they do learn the fundamentals very well. Joker says, I want Nikola Jovic or EJ. Listen, bro, you've been spelling his name wrong all summer, Joker. First of all, you my guy, so you know it's nothing like that. You've been around here so long, you know I love you. But come on, man. All you got to do is flip those letters, right? Just flip them a little bit. Add another L. It's EJ Liddell, not EJ Little. EJ Liddell, bro. Come on, get it together, bro. But yeah, I really like Nikola Jovic. Really, really like Nikola Jovic, man. Really do. Leonard's in the building. What up, Haize? Love you, my brother. I want DeAndre Ayton in Chicago. What do you think about him? We talked about him earlier in the stream. It really just depends if the Bulls can match the offer that they get for Ayton out in the open market, brother. That's really what it comes down to, man. Tim Brazil says, bro, I forgot Marco existed. I wanted that jersey so bad and never got it. Marco, are you talking about Bellinelli? Or are you talking about Marco Simonovic? Marco Bellinelli is like, yeah, he was awesome. Marco Simonovic, man, he gotta play this year. He has to play this year because he's not going to get anything out of the G League. He looked amazing. I have League Pass, so I get to watch all the G League games. He looked amazing in G League play, and he came along over the course of the G League season. He wasn't shooting that three early. He made that three a solid part of his game. His passing was on. Back to the basket game was on. Even showing a little bit more ability to get up and down the court than I thought Marco had. But we need to see him put on weight and do it at the NBA level. That's really what it boils down to. Shay says Jeremy Sohan. If we can't get EJ Liddell, listen, Jeremy Sohan is a nice prospect as well. He's a really, really nice prospect. Yeah, I like him a lot. What the hell happened? See, this is why I do not pay attention to work shit when I'm not working. I wish they didn't have access to me. I wish they didn't have a work phone because I wish they wouldn't have access to me when I'm not around. But nonetheless, we're going to keep it moving. Keep it moving. Chi-Town Javier says Miles Turner and Mitchell Robinson. Those are two very different players. Miles Turner isn't nearly the defender that Mitchell Robinson is. But like I said, I like Miles Turner if you add him to the team, not if necessarily you're talking about trading him for Vooch. Mitchell Robinson also can be added to the team without taking someone away. So Dexter says EJ Liddell or the athletic forward from LSU. That would be Tari Eason. And the thing with Tari Eason is defensively, Tari Eason is going to be one of those players that can switch 1 through 5. Especially if he puts on some weight 1 through 5 easily. That offensive game is going to take some work, but because he's going to be able to run the floor, he's also a solid pick and roll player. I can see Lonzo and Tari Eason working out a hell of a chemistry. Think about what that Derrick Jones Jr. And Lonzo pick and roll became at one point in time. Replace Tari Eason with that. Dangerous. The kid can jump out the gym. He's a shot blocker. He's a rebounder. He's a defender. He can steal. He can do everything you want him to do on the defensive end. It's just that is there enough there offensively for future? Like Tari Eason is probably going to be one of those players that stick around in the NBA for a long time, no matter how he develops, because of that defense is going to be top notch right away. Right away. MC Season says, do you personally think the Bulls will make any type of move before or on? Yes, I definitely think a move's coming. Just looking at the draft prospects that AK and Eversley have brought in, the fact that they're all lower picks, like either low first round or second round picks, that signifies to me that they're looking at that either because they plan on keeping the 18th pick and they already know who they wanted the 18th, but they're going to acquire another pick and they wanted to see who they're going to draft when they acquire that other pick. Something like that. But I definitely think a deal is going to be in the works. I definitely think something's happening. Now, it could not be, but I definitely think something's going to happen. Oh, Joker. Hold on. It's refreshed. Joker says, damn, so Tari is a better switcher. Yes, Tari Eason is a better switch because EJ Liddell can switch from 3, 4, and some 5s, depending because he's built like a tank. I can see EJ Liddell guarding some 5s for stretches. He may get overpowered and outworked sometimes in some matchups. I'm not saying you want to have him guard 5s all the time, but he can probably switch on that. But Tari Eason can guard 1 through 5 with the length, the athleticism. He needs to put on some weight, but he's going to be able to guard 1 through 5 in the NBA. So switching strictly on the switching aspect, yes, Tari Eason is a better switcher than EJ Liddell. Oh, this is a good question from Tim Brazil. He says, people talk about the ideal offseason for us. What would you consider a failed offseason? Woo. Okay. Failed offseason for the Chicago Bulls in a nutshell. Let's say they have to. I don't have a lot of free agents in my mind because I've been focusing on the draft. But let's say the Bulls draft, they do keep their own draft pick. The pick is a bust. Marko Simonovic comes in, he's still a bust. Kobe White's still here. It's the same inconsistency that he was last season. And whoever the Bulls do bring in as a big man ends up being, again, like Tristan Thompson was for us. That's a failed offseason. Jihad Dean, they don't exist. Jihad, people who say this all the time, and that not you. That facepalm wasn't issue. This guy in the comments who says, I think his name's Mark. If anybody in the NBA could stop either Embiid or Giannis, they would be the highest paid, the highest marketed and desired player in the league, right? They would be the most desired player in the NBA if you can find anyone who can stop Giannis or Embiid one-on-one. That is not how you beat them. Look at, they're both out. They both didn't make the finals. They didn't get beat by somebody guarding them one-on-one. They got beat by great team defense. So there's no such thing as a Giannis or Embiid stopper. It does not exist on this planet. There's nobody on this planet who can stop either one of those players. Nobody. I don't give it. You can bring back Jesus Levante Christ right now, and he could not stop either one of those players. They don't exist. They don't exist. right? There are certain players that there is no one-on-one answer for. And those are those type of players. It just that they don't exist. Super chat. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Walter, and thank you for supporting the channel at that level. Haize checking in at work. Great job, Haize. Am I the only one who thinks a 3-and-D wing is our biggest need and not a defensive big? I think the defensive big is when you look at like how the Bulls pick and roll defense was bad, how terrible we were with offensive rebounding specifically. I think that's a bigger need, but I can understand where you are coming from. I can definitely understand that because when you think about having a player that is versatile defensively and able just to knock down a three, I definitely can understand where you're getting at. But personally, I think the big is the biggest need. So, but I could be wrong with that. I could be wrong with that. Okay, Tony, this is why I got to keep correcting people. I commented on you're wrong. Even the deal that was done for Christian Wood is going to be considered a draft day trade. You keep this is why you see players who have the hats, like whoever Houston drafts with the 26th pick is going to still have a Dallas Mavericks hat on when they're drafted, because every trade that happens between now and the draft is considered a draft day. It's not finalized till after the draft. So no, the Bulls can trade the 18th pick right now. The deal wouldn't be finalized until after the draft, and they'll be drafting for the other team. So you're wrong. The Bulls can technically trade the 18th pick right now because everything that happens between now and then is considered a draft day trade. So no, they can't trade that. Come on, man. I hate it when people want to come in here and correct people and don't know what the fuck they talking about. Come on, fam. Come on, man. How long you been watching the NBA? Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that that's incorrect. I think this is the first time I've ever seen Leonard type something that didn't have the championship thing. These people are smoking Giannis or Embiid stoppers. They don't. Don't get me wrong. If the Bulls can find an Embiid or Giannis stopper in this draft or whatever, if they can find those players that can do that, hat the fuck off to AK and Eversley, because they cracked something the NBA's been trying to crack for the last 10 years almost. Tony, you see, this is what was wrong with. See, bald-headed people just want to be right to be right. Like, this is why you don't trust the bald-headed people. I'm telling you guys, people with no hairline are not to be trusted. With like, it doesn't matter until, shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. Like, if they can make the deal now, you make the deal, and that doesn't matter until draft. What the fuck are you talking about? Sheldon in the building. First of all, Sheldon says, supporting from Belize. Not sure if you covered this yet. With the trade that just happened yesterday for Seawood, would you have wanted to see Seawood on the Bulls, seeing how low the asking price was? Here's the thing. Seawood brings a lot of what he's not the rim protector though, right? See, Christian Wood is a great player, but the 18, I don't know, man. I just, and the Bulls didn't necessarily have the expiring contracts to do that. So I don't know, man, but we'll see. I wouldn't, if the Bulls would have made that trade, let's say they would have made that trade, because it would have had to be Kobe, Tony Bradley, the 18th pick. I wouldn't have hated it. Tony taking a fat L. Listen, bro, come on. A lot of people take L's around me. That's just period. Like, anybody who comes in trying to correct something is going to usually take an L around me. You don't trust Caruso? Hey, listen, I trust him on the basketball court. If we were having a conversation, no. Like, anybody who looks like a creative player, you don't trust. Like, when you go into the NBA 2K creative player and you don't touch anything, don't touch a goddamn thing. Go into the creative player, change the attribute, press save. That's Alex Caruso. You can't trust anybody who looks like they can be created on anything else. Like, God didn't make Alex Caruso. I can't trust that. Like, Alex Caruso literally looks like he would have came off an assembly line. You can't trust people like that, man. You got to always question them. Oh, man, that's funny. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, I'm trying to catch up. Almost had a Petty sighting. I'm trying. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm really trying to keep Petty Roosevelt under check. Like, I'm really trying my best to lately. But I don't give a fuck. We'll let the chopper fly when it's time for the chopper to fly. That's it. AC is that dude now. Hey, stop. I said on the basketball, I love that he's on my team. I absolutely love that he's on my team. Don't get me wrong. I love Alex Caruso. He came in and did everything that we needed him to do. Love him on the basketball team. But I'm telling you, if we was in, I wouldn't trust him. Alex Caruso seems like one of those players that grew up hood adjacent, right? Not technically in the hood, but they technically lived in the good side of town, but they were like 3 blocks from the hood. So they had a lot of black friends. And so you always got to question those people. That's all I can say. Would you rather have a switcher or strictly a rim protector? Ooh, I mean, if I had just a rim, so you're saying they're not a rebounder, they're just a rim protector? Oh no, I go switcher on defense all the time. If all they can do is block shots, no, I'm going with somebody who has switchability on defense every single time. What if they drafted Shaq's son? Oh God. I heard Shaq's son can ball though, but I don't know if it's like NBA ball. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, you're hitting it on the. I just hate that a name catches fire in Bulls Nation, and then 85% of the fans repeat. You are absolutely correct. And it happens probably with more fan bases. We just are more aware because we're Bulls fans. Like, they don't pay attention to shit that's going on with, like, people were literally saying, we need a defensive stopper. We need Jeremy Grant. What? Think about the things that you're saying. You said that we need a defensive stopper, and then you mentioned Jeremy Grant's name. Those things are not alike. And the Bulls fans just kept repeating it. It's like, what? Anyway, I'm just going to leave that at that, man. I'm going to leave that at that. Leonard Thomas says, Haize, if our Bulls stay healthy, do you think we can be the number seed in the East? I'm guessing you mean number 1 seed in the East. If we can stay healthy, we don't have a fall off. If we improve this bench like we need, we get the rim protector that we need, I can see us being number 1 in the East, but it's not going to be easy, right? The Bulls are going to have to play out of their minds and sustain that. Zach LaVine is going to have to get back to being efficient like he was before he got hurt. DeMar is going to have to be king of the fourth again. We're going to need everything to click. We're going to need Lonzo Ball healthy for the whole season, but it can happen. CNI says, yo, Haize, you see the mock draft by Beats Report that had Musa as a second round? Most mock drafts have Musa Diabate as a second rounder. So that's not shocking to me. But and it's because Musa has such high upside. But if that upside doesn't hit, you're gonna regret it. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he's listed as a second rounder. All right, we're about to get ready to end the stream, y'all. So if y'all got anything left in your minds, your hearts, your souls, go ahead and get it in now. What y'all got? Were you surprised that Nikola Jovic had better numbers than Chet and Jaden Ivey, who all played in the No, because freaking Nikola Jovic is a beast. Even with being as skinny as he is, he's a beast. CNI Plus says, I like Musa. Oh, go and watch my draft profile on Musa. Musa Diabate has the potential to be a beast, but it's potential, right? He doesn't come in with as much, like, as high as a floor as some players. That's why that's why a lot of players are projected good. There are a lot of players in this second round who don't necessarily project to be stars, but they project to be solid role players in the NBA. And people think that term role player is bad. By role player, I mean somebody who comes in, who can get you 15 to 18, maybe 20 minutes per game and play their role and give you quality minutes every time they play. There's that. The draft is deep with that type of potential. It's not deep with star potential in this draft. And some of those players that have that are probably going to work themselves into being a star, like Ochai Agbaji, he has the Jimmy Butler type worth ethic. And yes, he is a senior. He's an older player. But if anybody who's not projected to be a superstar turns into a superstar, I'm betting on OG because his work ethic is crazy. Crazy. See, and I says, damn well I watch, bro. Come on, man. Listen, I come on. I never want to assume, brother. I never want to assume. Jonathan Washington Jr. This is an interesting trade idea, brother. Would you trade Kobe White for Roy Hachimura from Washington? Maybe not a straight up deal, but a trade centered around those players. Hachimura did come on a little bit late last season. You're more so trading up. If we trade Kobe, I want to bring in a sure thing. I want to bring in somebody who their role for sure. And I don't know if that. I don't see this. If we were where we were 2-3 years from now, where we still building, I'd say absolutely on that. But where we sit right now, I want to kind of more see a veteran in that place or a rookie with higher upside defensively and offensively. So I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. And that's fine, Tony. That's typical white man activity. That's fine. Take that. Go do that. Have fun with that. Have fun with that. Go and read the CBA. It's a nice read, bro. It takes you days, but go and read the CBA. It's out online. Get Rudy the Beast. We're not getting Rudy Gobert. And this is what I want to say, Kush. I'm not poo-pooing on your idea of getting Rudy, but now the market has been set for Rudy Gobert, and the Bulls cannot match it. The Bulls cannot match it. Now that Atlanta's willing to offer Collins the 16th pick, Kevin Huerter, or however you say that, the market's been set for Rudy. And guess what? The Bulls can't match it because they're not trading Patrick Williams. So it's not going to happen. Leonard says, I hope we don't get hit with the tampering this year, Haize, because the league be hating on our Bulls. Man, listen here. If AK and Eversley didn't learn anything from last season, you wait 5 minutes to announce the deal. You wait literally, if the Bulls had 1 minute into free agency, had the Bulls waited 10 minutes, 12 minutes, like literally all AK had to do was sit on his hands and say, hey man, listen, I'm going to watch the Boondocks for a while. So yeah, bro, the market's been set, man. I think that they really do need to get over it, man. Did I cover Caleb Houston? Absolutely, I did. Absolutely. Tony, I guess me attacking. First of all, you came in my chat talking shit and being loud and wrong. So yes, black and we're going to talk shit to anybody who comes into our space and they're loud, stupid, and wrong. Absolutely. If that's attacking you, you deserve that attack, and your mama should have swallowed you. So absolutely. If that makes you feel bad in your pussy, I don't give a fuck. Tuck your vagina up, go the fuck home, tell your mama to swallow you now. I don't know what the fuck you want to hear from me. But yes, that is typical. Most black men are going to attack you if you come into space talking and being loud and wrong. Yes, get your bald-headed bitch ass and go back to your mama. How's that for an attack? Your mama should have swallowed your ass, bro. How about that for an attack? You dumb ass motherfucker. Yes, bro. Come on, man. Come on, fam. Yes, you deserve to be attacked there, and now your mama deserves to get a thumb stuck up her ass. That's what needs to happen. So you earn this flame, bro. You earn this. You earn this shit. Anyway, let's move right along. What else we got before we end the stream today? Woo! Bulls didn't announce it. It was Rich Paul. That doesn't surprise me either. If Rich Paul announced it, that doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. Is Tony still talking? Tony, you deserve everything you're getting right now. That man is still talking. Like, hey, you just gotta let him. Some people are just gonna talk. Like, he just gotta talk. Like, that's it. It is what it is. This is my ninja pet. I tried my best for Petty not. I tried my best. I really did try my best. I want y'all to know that I sat here and I thought about it and I prayed and God said, let Petty go. That's what happened. That's what happened. So it is what it is. Shay, come on, bro. You've been saying this for a month now, fam. Come on, Shay, bruh. I love you. I love you, right? Everything I say right now is surrounded in love. But why do you go around repeating the same shit and saying it as if this is new information that you're saying? Why? Why do you do that? Why do you do that, man? Why do you do that? Why do you say information that you've been saying for weeks and present it as if this is the first time you're saying it? Like, we don't know you, Shay. Everybody in this chat, not Tom because he's retarded, but everybody else in this chat knows that you love EJ Liddell. They know, they've seen the comparisons to Paul Millsap and EJ Liddell. You didn't think about that. This isn't new information. Come on, Shay. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, fam. Come on, brother. Come on. I need you to do something better than that, fam. Bring me some new info, brother. Bring me new information. This is what I need you to do, Shay. I need you to bring me something new. Can you do that for me, brother? Hey, I can throw shade towards Shay. That's my dude, man. That's my dude. Dantavius Stapleton says you're getting on folks now. Listen, once Petty's unleashed, it's hard to put Petty back in the box, right? Petty, like, it's so easy to let Petty out the box. That's why I try my best not to let him out the box. Because once Petty Roosevelt comes out the box, it takes about 2 hours. Like, I'm about to go drone on my kids. Like, I'm going to crack jokes on my kids when I get done with this. Because now Petty Roosevelt is out the box. Like, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is what it is, man. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream, man. I appreciate you guys so much, fam. You guys are amazing. You guys have helped this channel grow so much. I can't stress enough how much you guys mean to me, man. The fact that we even are doing random live streams during the off season and we're getting the viewership that we're getting, man, it's crazy to me, and it's not missed, right? I don't miss the fact that Chicago Bulls Central would not be what it is if it wasn't for you guys. And while we have to get on dumbass people like Tony, while we got to do things like that, I do appreciate you guys so much, man, because you guys are what makes Chicago Bulls Central what it is. It's not me. Anybody can stand here in front of a mic with solid lighting and a halfway decent beard, not Tony, because I'm sure Tony's beard is trash, and talk about sports. But what makes this community what it is people like Julie, people like Ricky, people like Shay, people like Cap, people like CNI, people like Joker. You guys have helped build this community for so much of what it is, and I appreciate you guys, man. This is Chicago Bulls Central. As we continue to bring you guys more content, as me and Ricky prepare to bring our members only and Patreon version of the podcast as well, which is going to be weekly, even though some people try to hop on our bandwagon with that and try to jump in front of of the heat that we're bringing. It doesn't matter. Everything that comes from Chicago Bulls Central is all meant to give you guys the best content possible and to continue interacting with you guys. So I appreciate you guys, man. I'll be back possibly tonight. If the finals are secure tonight, I will be back live streaming tonight. But otherwise, I love you guys, man. You already know what it is. This is Chicago Bulls Central. Make sure you see red, don't be red. Hold on, let me do this officially. You know, guys know I like to do it officially when we're on here. Make sure you're following the podcast at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform. If you want to send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, it's bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, you can leave us a text and or voicemail for the mailbag episodes, which usually air every Saturday. I didn't miss this past week, but every Saturday, 773-270-2799. I appreciate you guys, man. I love you guys. See red, don't be red. Peace, y'all.